So today we're going to talk about our spring 2025 internship, and we do have Miriam here, who is
I
our
know,
design
I'm so
intern.
excited.
And so, yeah, we'll see kind of where things are going with her. What's up? She's been here like, a hot minute. Um,
2 or 3 weeks? I don't know.
Something like
Time is
that.
a social
Yeah,
construct. It doesn't make
I
any
don't know.
sense
I
to me.
always feel like internships are really hard to like, because
Right?
you're like thrown into a thing and you've got to like ramp up, and then by the time you know what you're doing, you're like out the door, like you're done.
Bye. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I don't think I did any like actual internships in college now that I'm thinking about it.
So I
Mm.
did not. So I worked in the public affairs office. Um, and so that counted
Public
for
affairs.
part credit and part pay. So it was
Oh,
work
okay.
study and it was an independent study, I think, not really an internship, because at the time the college didn't have a PR program at all. And so that was how I kind of did my PR work and learned all that. So I cranked
Huh.
out press releases on
I was gonna
students
say just
visiting the
press
campus, and
releases left and right.
yep, and professors doing things, getting grants, studying or going somewhere. Like it was
Interesting.
wild, and really
Way
fun.
back
And
in
that
the
was,
90s.
yeah. I mean, I didn't have to use a typewriter. We did use computers, so that was nice.
Was it just like the green Mac?
It
That's what I'm
wasn't a
picturing.
Mac, so it was a centralized, like it was one of those dumb terminals, and then everything was centralized in the IT space on one of those giant
That
computers,
I don't know what that
like the
means.
size of a car or a house. But now we have itty bitty computers that we keep in our pockets and walk around with all day
On our
that are way more
wrist. It's
powerful than
wild.
that stupid thing that I used to work on.
You know what I was doing in college was drinking a lot of lemonade. Mine was not Brazilian though. It was usually UV
I
blue and
know.
lemonade. Not a good. I wouldn't recommend that. That's not
So
a.
I do think this sounds interesting. So
Yeah,
it's interesting because the concept of a lemon in most of Central and South America just
is
doesn't really
actually. Yep.
exist, because a lemon is just a lime that had a cold snap.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
That's why the further north you go, you get actual yellow lemons versus limes.
Red.
So it's
I
just a
was gonna
lemon.
do a little tongue twister for you, but it's
Oh,
leather, not red leather, yellow leather. That's a
oh,
vocal warm up. But I was thinking of like red lemon, yellow lemon, but that there's no
you
such
could do
thing as a red lemon.
green lemon, yellow lemon.
Green lemon,
Um,
yellow.
so yeah, so Brazilian lemonade, even though it's called lemonade, you just got to take off your like American hat that a lime and a lemon are two different
Yeah.
things. It's made with limes, which is I think I'm pronouncing this right, but limão in
Limão. I
Portuguese.
don't speak
It's
Portuguese. I
L
barely
I
speak
M
Spanish
A with a
anymore.
tilde and an O. I'm used to
Yeah.
the N with the tilde.
Limão.
I don't know with the
Yeah.
A. Um, but typically that refers to
Mm.
limes rather than lemons. I do believe that it can refer to both, because I know in Mexican Spanish, limon
Well,
is
it's like
lemon and
Lima
limon is lime.
Limon. Like they have
Yeah.
a like I don't yeah.
Yep. There's also, I was reading, there's some people call them limon verde, and I'm like, nobody calls it that. I've never heard that before in my
Who says
life.
that? Well, I mean,
I don't know. Green lemon? Like that sounds like an unripe lemon. Anyway, so
sounds tart.
this originated in a place in Brazil that I'm not going to try to pronounce. And there was a street vendor who was doing it. So it's a refreshing drink. It is non-alcoholic, as typically our intern drinks are. However, did learn Miriam is over
Yeah.
21,
I
so
feel like you could put a little like rum in this if you
100%.
wanted
You know
to.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, throw a little
If
rum in it.
you wanted, I'm pretty sure it's cachaça is like a Brazilian. No, it's not Brazilian. Argentinian. I'm gonna have to look that up. But there's a like a fermented sugarcane spirit that comes
Oh,
from South America. I
they
think
have
it's
one.
Brazil.
They have one in Brazil too. Yeah. It's, gosh, what is it? Because
Anyway,
it's,
you
isn't
could
it in a
add this.
caipirinha? Isn't it what's in a caipirinha?
Caipirinha, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Where
I think you
does
could put that in here, but
cachaça come
yeah. So
from?
this is really wild.
No, it is Brazil. Okay, I was right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want
Caipirinhas are
cachaça.
Brazil.
Yeah,
I got,
yeah.
oh my gosh, in Corpus Christi, Texas, I got so wasted on caipirinhas once at a work thing. Like it was really bad.
We shouldn't. It's
Not
maybe
a
not
work
the
thing
right,
for us. Like that wouldn't be that big of a
obviously.
deal, but well,
Do you want to hear about what's in a Brazilian lemonade?
I would love to. And what makes it different aside from the limes? Because there's a twist here that I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that.
Yes. So you need 5 limes or 4 if they're large. I don't know what wait, stop me when I get to large limes. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Like,
I mean,
is it like a golf ball or
like
a
potato size? I don't know. Oh, I made hearts.
That's cute. I love limes too. So 5 or 4 limes,
Just do 5,
depending on what you think. Plus some peels for serving if you are into a garnish. 3 1/4 cups cold water, 3 cups of ice, and 1 14-ounce. I like that we have a quantification on the can, a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, but no idea what size of limes we need. Lightly scrub your limes, rinse and pat dry, and then you're going to cut. It took me a second to figure this out. So you're going to cut off the ends of the limes and then quarter that. So you're taking off like the extremely hard
a little bumpy
ends.
piece.
Yes.
The
and
nipples,
then
the lime's nipples.
I think it'd be like the stem and flower, but
okay.
Go with what you feel. And then once you do that, take out the really intense, what was the word you called it?
Pith?
Pith, yes. Except I think pith is the white part between the peel.
Yes, it is.
And the flesh. But this is like that.
This is that
string
step that goes down the middle of it. That's like.
So take that out. Anyway, transfer the rest of the lime, so peeling and all, into a blender. Yes. Add cold water. Blend until mostly smooth and combined, which is about a minute. I feel like that minute could vary based on your blender. Just, depending. Strain through a fine mesh sieve and discard the pulp and wipe out the blender. That's an extra step. I don't know.
Oh, just because you got to return the lime juice to the blender. Yes. You don't want all those chunks in it.
Yeah.
Just rinse it out.
Honestly, I'm not using a rag. So put your lime juice back in a blender, add the sweetened condensed milk and ice, and then blend to your desired consistency. Divide among glasses and garnish with a lime wheel.
I do agree that this would be a good rum drink.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also think, like, if you really want it to be frosty, add more ice. It's fine. We don't know the size of the limes. 3 cups of ice, 4 cups of ice, whatever.
You could put 12 limes in here if you really like a lime. This is a measure with your heart. It also probably depends on how big your blender is, how many people you're sharing with.
So
there are some variables here.
It's going to be like green milk, right? Because the lime peel is in there, so you're going to get that green color.
Yeah.
I think we should do these on St. Patrick's Day and put whiskey in them.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would, no.
Rum? We'll just do rum.
I was like, whiskey with, it's making.
All right. Well, I think this is a good one. This is from delish.com. So, yes. Delish.
Yeah, you have to say it like that too.
Yes. I always do. Brazilian lemonade. It's interesting. Like, every time I hear anything that's like starts with Brazilian, I'm like, where are we going with this? Like,
I get a little bit
butt lift. Like, what are we doing?
Wax.
My sister got accused of getting a Brazilian butt lift. She did not. It was just she had counterbalance weight.
I'm sorry, what is
a Brazilian butt lift? It's where they it's like a breast augmentation, but for your butt. So you get this big round out there. Yeah.
Like a juicy booty. Okay.
Yeah, but no, she just when she had her first kid, my niece.
Is she okay with you disclosing this to our tons of listeners?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course. But she was always super skinny. I mean, she still is. But when she got the skinny
she
people always
balanced
do it. The
out.
Big belly, she needed a counterbalance, and her body just gave her a booty. And then when she lost her baby weight and stuff, her booty never went away. So, and she's like, I don't mind. It's fine.
Yeah, it's very in right now, I think.
Yeah.
Bodies are, that's fine.
So but this is not a Brazilian butt lift. It's a Brazilian lemonade, which you could drink maybe while you're having a Brazilian butt lift. I don't know. I think you're out maybe when they do that.
I was like, I think they generally frown upon you eating or drinking before general anesthesia. Should we talk to Miriam?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
enough.
Take a break and come back and talk to Miriam. Okay, our countdown is done. We're in. We're back.
Ta-da!
And
hi, Miriam.
We've got Miriam.
Thank you for agreeing to subject yourself to this specific kind of interrogation, wherein we're going to put it out on the internet. All of your
So-
answers will be recorded for posterity forever.
Of course. So
Great.
who are you? What are you doing here? What are you studying? What's going on?
Hi.
Tell us all about Miriam.
I'm Miriam Moore. I'm a senior at Morningside currently. So I'm graduating this year, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully?
Hopefully.
If I pass all my classes.
I was like, do we need to talk about that?
I mean, are we worried about this? Is this a concern? Do we
So
need to
far,
talk
so
to any of
good.
your
Not yet.
professors? Okay.
I was like, that doesn't
right.
it doesn't strike me as something you would be worried about based on your current work ethic so far. But, maybe you've got like a
Okay.
weird chemistry requirement or something. That sounds
No,
terrible.
just a full
Mm.
schedule.
Well,
So yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
I took your environment and you as my science with a lab. I don't know if they still have it. It used to be called Environment and Man, and when I was in school, they changed it to your environment and you because they didn't want it to be sexist. But yeah, so we just did like fun stuff and like got river samples, water samples, looked at them in a microscope, and it was very nice. But
Huh.
no chemistry, no biology.
Dorothy asked for a telescope yesterday because we could see the moon out one of our windows like during the day. And she's like, can we get a telescope? And I was like, why do you know what a telescope is? But yeah, sure. That sounds great. Anyway.
Do you know, fun fact, the Bettendorf High School is the only high school, I think, probably not in the country. It's the only high school in Iowa that has an observatory.
Hmm.
They got a full observatory, and the school
Why
board
do
keeps
you
trying to
know
shut
that?
it down. And they're because we were in Bettendorf dropping
over
Brian's
the
mom
weekend.
off,
Okay.
and
Okay.
he kept being like, I was like, there's only 3 streets that matter in Bettendorf, and that's it, because we were only on those 3 streets. And then he's like, well, this is 18th Street. If you take that, it goes to the high school. And I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm not going to the high school. And then he had to tell me the history of like the telescope and observatory and everything.
Huh.
Anyway, so you're a
Miriam,
design
have you ever
student?
used a telescope?
One of those small ones, like the collapsible
Like
ones.
Oh,
You can like
okay.
barely
If-
see the moon.
Okay, I was like, could you send me some recommendations for my 4-year-old? Because that sounds like right up our alley.
I think it's
What
like
are
the
you-
pirate, like,
Oh,
thing.
God.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's more of is that a telescope or is that I thought that had a different name.
it probably
Maybe
has
I
a
don't
different
know.
name.
No, I'm thinking
Periscope?
of a periscope.
Oh,
out
yeah,
of a
that's
Yeah,
a
no, that's
submarine,
an
yep.
up, and that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I could see Dorothy as a submariner or as a pirate. I think she would excel in both of those career
Pirate
paths.
witch. Yeah. Yep,
Pirate
yep,
witch.
Yep. She's a
Okay.
witch. We can talk about it later. We're
That's
pretty
what I
sure
should be in
she's a
school
witch.
for. Pirate witch.
Pirate witch?
Yes.
Instead,
but
what are you
what
being
are you?
forced by
Well,
What are you
social
studying?
social constructs to study?
graphic design and history. Which is-
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
graphic design.
history.
Yes,
Not art history,
actually-
just history.
Yes. Well, I have a graphic design and history double major, and then I'm minoring in studio art and art history. So full schedule.
How?
Yep.
How does one choose those things? Like,
Well-
what appeals to you about those avenues?
When I started at Morningside, I was just graphic design, and that's it. And then I realized pretty early on that leaves a lot of room in my schedule. So I just decided
okay.
to add something that I actually like to study. Because I figured I might as well learn something while I'm at school, you know?
So you're a history buff.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Will you just tell me like your favorite part of history? Like, do you have like an era? Like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Like a
I do.
favorite time?
Medieval
Tell me
Europe.
everything.
That's my thing.
Oh, wow.
Like the
Yes.
plague and shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Flag
Yeah.
and shit.
I
That's
mean-
exactly how they described it back then. Oh, he's got
Yeah.
a flag and shit.
Honestly, like that time seems miserable. Like everyone just seems miserable. Like they all had lead poisoning. They were just like dying of like easy to cure now things, right? Like shit is
Yeah,
like
you
running
can't
through the
drink the
street. It just
water.
like
Yeah.
it just all of it sounds miserable. Everything is dirty.
Yeah, I would
Like,
not want to be
yeah.
alive at that time.
Yeah.
But looking back, I like the aesthetics. I like the art from that
Uh-huh.
time.
Okay.
I like
okay.
the
Because
typography,
they were all
like
trying
the
to
lettering.
escape. They were like, look at
Yes.
how beautiful this is. Don't look over
Uh-huh.
there.
Stress and strife create great art. Like, that's
Amen.
true.
So true.
So I learned, I've been
Me.
watching Pop Culture Jeopardy, which I highly recommend. But I learned, so you talk about things that are going to kill you. So in the original Wizard of Oz, when they're all laying in the poppy field and it snows on them, the snow
Yeah,
is
that's
asbestos.
asbestos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which again, just inhale a
And
little
there
bit.
was
It'll be fine.
I think it was nickel in the original Tin Man paint.
Mm.
And so like the original Tin Man actor almost died because he had a nickel allergy.
No.
And so they had to like they hired a new guy who wasn't allergic to the like fracking
Oh my
toxic paint that they were
goodness.
covering his body in.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Gladiator too. So the whole Roman Empire for me is fascinating. Like how big it got, way too big for their britches, and how they eventually just like fell apart. But the technology, like, that they had, like with clean water and the way they, used aqueducts and the road system and all of that. Anyway, I digress.
That was I would like to talk more about medieval Europe. Is there any appeal in like the head chopping, or is that's not really on the radar for you?
I mean, I could give you a
Like a
list
little
of
Marie
people.
Antoinette moment, or is that
Well, when I think about the guillotine, I think more so like French Revolution.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's a little bit after my
Is that too
like,
is that
favorite time
later?
period.
Okay.
That's
okay.
modern Europe.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but what they did do in
Did
medieval
not
Europe
study
is
history, so
they burned the witches.
Mm.
I'm just hopeful that when that happens again, I am on a pyre with like my friends, so we
Yeah.
can at least just like tell raunchy jokes while we're being,
Yeah, you might as well
So, yep.
make a night of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. YOLO. Am I right?
Speaking of making a night of it, as you know, probably by now, we love to eat. I'm trying, Zach. I'm trying real hard. We love to eat at Antidote 71. So what is your favorite place to eat in Sioux City?
Ooh.
We will judge you based on
Because
this answer.
you're like born and raised in Sioux City, or
No.
raised?
I'm not
Well,
from here
that's
at all.
right. That's right. But
Oh,
you're
okay.
because I was thinking because your
Yeah.
mom works at the college
Mhm.
but I forgot that you like lived abroad and you like all of these things, right? Okay.
I've lived like everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. But my favorite place to eat in Sioux City would have to be De Leon's. I think the Mexican food here is like probably the
Top
best
notch.
in the
Oh.
country.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna let that slide.
Oh.
I
Where
lived in San
else?
Diego for a long time. And so Mexican food's different, right? Like our Mexican food here it's like what I grew up on, the
Like street
enchiladas and
tacos and-
chimichangas and
yeah.
all that. But street tacos are kind of a new thing in the Midwest though. Like when I was growing up, there weren't street tacos. Nobody had those. That was definitely a Southwest thing, a Mexico thing.
Was La Bonita open when you were?
No, I'm
Okay.
old, remember? I'm super old.
Well, they're also, they've been here for a long time, but
Yeah, not since the 70s.
fair enough. What do you get at De Leon's? What are we eating there?
Carne asada taco. I'm basic.
Okay. No,
That's a good
classic.
one, though. Carne asada is
Classic.
not basic.
No.
Carne asada is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful meat.
It's
So,
a classic. Like you can't go wrong with it
uh-huh.
if it's done well.
Yeah.
Yes, not well done. Done well.
Yes.
Little steak joke for everybody there.
I'm curious how, since you're not born and raised in Sioux City, as we have just established, how did you find this internship? What drew you to it? Like, what
Yeah.
are you hoping to glean from your time with us? All of those things. That's a lot of questions at once.
I heard about this internship actually when it first started. When you guys launched it, I heard about it through Shelby Prindiville,
Okay.
my advisor. And I think there was I think it might have been you, Rich. You came in and did like a presentation about the internship to a couple graphic design students. This was back in 2022, maybe.
Maybe. Was that me or was that you, Zach? When did you go present this thing? It might have been me.
It was like right at the beginning though. Like
Okay.
right when you guys announced it. And I was a freshman at the time, so I didn't like even think about applying.
Oh, yeah.
But I've kept an eye on this internship for this whole time that I've been at Morningside. And just like somehow never got around to applying until this semester, and here I am.
Nice. And for those who are not familiar, it is actually running a t-shirt shop. So you're doing all the design, adjusting things. You're probably I think you're going to replace some t-shirts, maybe give some new
Yes.
t-shirt designs, freshen up the inventory. And so you can buy the shirts. 71shirts.com is what it is. 71shirts.com.
They're very soft.
They're really nice. I love mine. I've got
Are you
3,
wearing one right now?
4. No,
Does
this
this
is a
smell? Okay.
woven.
Okay.
No, I had it on the other day. Like, I've only got one that I kind of wear. I've spilled wine on one. I spilled hot chocolate on another one. I've been a mess. So I just need to get the dark navy ones, and then I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so it's really
That's why
good.
most of my wardrobe
and so
is
there's
black.
usually a digital intern doing like the digital media and running the business side, and then a design intern updating the website. You can redo the look and feel, because it's really kind of, we try to stay advisory but hands off. Like, you guys get to run this and do what you want to do with it.
Yeah. I think the whole concept is so interesting because it's not something that you would find elsewhere, especially like the autonomy piece. It seems like a lot of, and this again is from, my days of trying to find internships. A lot of them seem to be more like job shadow than actual like tasks and autonomy and creative thinking.
Yep. Yeah. And I think part of it came about because sometimes with interns, like, they can just work on stuff as if they're like a part-time employee and that type of thing. But really, it's about you learning something and understanding something and gaining some kind of experience or perspective. And you don't always get that with just normal stuff. And sometimes, like, if the workload like is pretty light on design, we'll just be like, I don't know if we have anything for a design intern to do.
All right.
So we wanted something that was like contained and its own and interesting, and that you could
and
like
consistent
sink your
too,
teeth
right?
in.
So that you are getting some value, the intern is getting some value, and we don't have to like invent tasks on the day. Like, shit, Miriam's coming and we don't have anything for her to do. Like,
yes.
So
yeah.
Did you go through Casey's notes? Have you gone through his?
I did. There was a PowerPoint that he left for future interns that kind of makes sense. I've been trying to decipher it.
Casey.
Do you know Casey?
Yes. Yeah. So I can reach out to him.
Not a huge school.
Yeah.
He had fun with it. He was like the sole guy trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. So
I was like, do you feel like this kind of parlays into what you see yourself doing? I think you and Megan were maybe talking about like agency versus not,
yes.
and what does that look like for you? It's okay if you don't know. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So,
but well, this internship I think is going to be really good for me no matter what direction I end up taking. Because like you guys said, it's like I'm actually doing something instead of just like helping out with projects that are already ongoing. And that's how I learn. Like, I learn by doing. I have to get in there, like, get my hands in it.
Absolutely.
And, like, actually, yeah. So I love that about it. And yeah, it's a huge project, which it's intimidating, but it's good because I can see like all the different moving parts.
And it can be as big or as small as you want it to be, really. I mean, if you decided, like, Casey didn't redo any shirts, he thought about it. But in the end, he was like, no, I want to focus on like the digital ads and the store design. And he got into pricing and some of those things.
I also think we didn't really have that much data on sales to know which were successful and which weren't. Yeah.
So this is the 3rd year of the internship, but it just launched last summer. Like, the store actually was alive last summer. Casey actually took it live.
Yeah.
Right before June. And so all of the Pride shirts became a thing that he like put out there for summer. But yeah, so there's really not a lot going on. And we've had some decent sales. I don't know. I think he sold 17 or 20 or 32 shirts. I don't know. It's in there somewhere in Shopify.
Some shirts.
The first one was wild though. Like, you'll get a rush the first time somebody buys a shirt. You'll be like, that's awesome. I did that.
Wait.
What do you feel like happens after graduation? Is that still no idea?
I don't know. I'm sure I'll think of something though.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure I'll think of something.
I had a job lined up actually at the college. I had an offer. I was hired. I had a start date. And then they did a budget cut and all new positions were eliminated.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, 3 weeks after graduation going, I don't have a job. So I went back to my part-time job. I managed the pools in Sioux City for Parks and Rec. And then I got an advertising job. And here I am.
And the rest is history.
So you don't always have to know. And sometimes when you
Mm-mm.
know, like somebody yanks that rug out from under you.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like I have friends who have done, like, they went to law school and then they're like, actually, I hate being an attorney. This was a terrible
Mhm.
waste of time and money. Whereas, like,
Yep.
I picked Spanish and photography, and now this is the job I'm doing after doing many other jobs. And so it's like, I don't know, you're not locked into anything, which is,
I'm sure I'm in like the right place though. Like focus wise though, because I know graphic design is what I want to do.
Okay.
yeah,
Do you have an ideal, like what's your dream job? Like, let's just put it out there into the universe, see if we can make it happen.
do it. Let's manifest some stuff.
Ooh, I think in the very far future, I'd like to be like completely freelance, like run my own business, kind of
Wow.
freelance. Yeah, but that's like
Okay.
nowhere in the next like 10 years, maybe not even 20 years. But like I want to build up a really solid base of like experience before I try to branch out and do it on my own.
Yeah.
Have a good portfolio where you can demand
Yes.
a nice fee and whatnot.
Yes. And whatever you think your fee should be, it's more.
That is absolutely true, especially as a freelancer. No, I see
Yeah.
freelancers who are like, I'm $20 an hour. And I'm like, no, that's horrible.
What do you
Like, if you're freelancing for less than 50 an hour, you're insane. Like, I just feel like you're not insane. You're selling yourself short, I should say. Mental health is important, and I should use that as a negative.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just wild when I see that, and I'm like, you charge $30 an hour? Okay. If I
Right.
multiply that out, you know what, your salary would be really tiny. Like, that's just stupid.
Well, and if you figure in all of your like costs of doing business, you see, we'll write you a business plan when you're ready, Miriam. We'll just get you like a
100%.
Yeah.
One, you got to pay your own
it's gonna
taxes
cost
too, right?
you though.
You're going to lose at least 30% just on taxes. So,
Yeah.
Ouch.
no, you're charging 30, you're really charging 20.
Yeah. That's
Um,
only 10%.
So what have you done so far? What have you been able to do? I know you've only been in here for like a couple weeks, a few days, but what have you like dug into so far? Where are you at with the internship?
So right now, I have gotten most of the preliminary stuff out of the way, and I've like really solidified my game plan as for like art direction and what I want to do with the website. So getting all that out of the way so I can work on what I actually want to do, which is designing the shirts. So yeah, I'm just waiting on some feedback from some other team members and the other intern, and then be ready to get going.
Good. For every shirt you add to the store, you've got to remove one. So you've got to kill one to put one in because they're
71.
She's like, I have a cut list. I'm
I
ready.
do have a list, actually.
okay. Well, don't cut my favorite. So I love the Red Barn. That's one of my favorite, and I love it on maroon.
She's
I
like,
love a good
that was
tone
the
on
top of the
tone.
list.
What's
What's the second one you said? I'm sorry. I was listening to myself.
I just said Red Barn because I love a good tone on tone shirt. I like that one on a
okay.
maroon shirt.
Yeah.
But I also have one of those, so kill it if you want to. Nobody else will have it then.
What's the one? What's the one at the top of your list, Miriam? I want to know.
There's like 7 of the shirts that have like 3 triangles right here, and they're
Okay.
all like almost the same with like one variant in color. So a couple of those at least can go.
Yep, and I think part of that is when you don't have enough designs and you need 71 just to be cool, like with the number. You do variations.
It's
I do
in the
think that,
name.
I do think that killing some of the variations makes sense. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
What is the thing you're most excited about in the next? Because how long are you with us? When's your?
I
When does
graduate
this end?
in May, so it's going to be a couple more months.
Okay.
So usually it's like mid to late April because then you get
Is
into
that it?
finals and all that. So you kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
be focused.
I'm so sorry.
So almost 3 months, 2.5 months.
The one thing besides cutting the triangles.
Ooh, designing the shirts, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
And that's not something that I do. Like I can take somebody else's design and put it on merch, but I can't like do it myself. Like I don't design things from scratch at all. So unless it's
a skill
words,
set we don't have. Yeah.
I do have some Christmas shirts that just say ho.
Just one.
And there's
Is
also
that-
one that says ba, like bah
Oh, like
humbug,
bah
but just
humbug.
ba.
Oh yeah.
And they're either green on red or red on green. But I've never sold them. They've never been in a store.
This could be your chance.
I don't know. It could be my chance. It
Yeah.
could be my chance.
Dorothy didn't
right.
know how to say it. We watched a lot of Muppet Christmas, and I think it was last year or 2 years ago. She might have just been 2, but she would just say humbub.
Is that the
shout
Michael
it.
Caine one?
Humbub.
Oh,
What?
wait. The Michael Caine one was the...
Yeah, That's
yeah.
Muppets.
So, and that was,
Where
that
he-
was on Pop Culture Jeopardy as well. And he said, he told
me.
them, he's like, it was, this actor said he would portray his part in A Muppet Christmas Carol as if he were performing with the Royal Shakespeare Theatre.
Yes, and he did. He
And-
did.
And that was the one thing, like, people are like, that made the movie. Like, the fact that
It's perfect.
is
He played it
oblivious to them being
completely
Muppets.
straight.
Yep.
Yes, it's fantastic.
So good.
We've actually talked about this. Like, what other movies could we replace all but one character with Muppets?
Oh,
Or like other moments? Yeah. So think about that.
wow. Okay,
Mhm.
well, I think we may
Then
have
we
to
also
approach
we
that
also
another
kind of
time.
decided that the villain is the straight man. Like the character that is like 100% serious.
So, like, Top Gun, everybody's a Muppet except Iceman is still Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
That'd be
That
weird.
could be fun.
It could be fun. Tom
I don't know
Cruise
if
is a
I don't
Muppet.
know. Yeah.
Oh,
I
he
do
could be-
think you have to.
He could be Gonzo. Gonzo flies. He's got the goggles. All right.
That actually makes a lot of sense for me. Yeah.
So, me too. So, Miriam, as we wrap up, any additional thoughts? Anything you want to tell people about your internship or about you or about us or whatever?
Yes. Go to 71shirts.com and buy a shirt.
We love
There
a
we go.
shameless plug. That's fantastic.
You heard it here.
She
You
passed.
know what?
Just
We
is just a
should-
graded.
Here's what we'll do. If you call in after this episode and mention that you're calling in after this episode, we'll give you a free shirt. So
Oh my
the
gosh.
cocktail book's not doing it for people. We'll give you a free damn
What if we
shirt from
gave you
71
both?
Shirts.
Get a cocktail
We could give them
book and a
both.
shirt.
We have plenty.
Merch. Merch
all right,
on
so
merch
anyway,
on merch.
If you're listening and you've been thinking about calling in, we'll
You
give you the
should
number
do
here,
it.
in a couple minutes.
Pick your own of 71 shirts
Yep.
from either now
Well-
or after Miriam adds her own designs.
Yeah, thanks for
Preferably
choice.
after.
Okay, so don't do it yet, but we'll get you a code for a free shirt. You could wait
then
until
we could-
Miriam does new
yes.
designs. And then when you see the new shirts at the top, buy those. Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for being here. And I am
Yes.
excited to see when you get past the structured stuff we have for you to do, how the site and shirts evolve. It's always
Be
fun.
really fun. As always, you can find us at Antidote_71. If you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can visit ctapodcast.live to send us a message. And as we just discussed, if you leave us a voice message on our hotline at 402-718-9971, your question or comment will make it onto a future episode, and you will be rewarded with not only a free t-shirt and probably a free cocktail book, but our eternal gratitude.
Absolutely. So call us maybe.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was trying, but it just didn't work.
It's good.
Okay. So this was a great episode, and I always love the ones with the interns when we do our intern
What's coming up next?
We are going to do apparently my choice from Zero to Hero, campaigns that turned it around. So I believe, and Zach can correct me if I'm wrong, except he's pixelating, but these are probably brands that were having some issues and they launched a new campaign and shit went north, which is the good
In a
way.
good
South
way.
is bad. Yeah. So things like turned around and took off for them. And this is going to be a really fun one. I've actually done some of these where I've turned around brands and seen brands turned around. I don't think we'll talk about those because they're not that exciting. But yeah, brands that turned it all around from zero to hero in no time flat.
I was just gonna say you have to sing the Hercules song.
Yeah.
Zero
Now I want to watch that.
we
I have Disney Plus.
We like
It's in
that.
there, I'm sure.
We like. Oh yeah, we like that one at our house.
All
too.
right. Well, that's an episode, Caitlin. I think we're on time-ish, so Zach
Yeah.
hopefully won't be mad at
Time
us.
is nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
All right.
See you next time.
Yep.